Let's make a list of our top 5 weekend sharp bowling balls of 2024. In 2024, there have so far been 89 bowling balls that have been released, and out of all of those, there have been 12 that are listed in our weekend sharp category. Our weekend sharp category is generally weaker symmetrical bowling balls that are either hybrid or pearl that have a little more angle down lane and get through the front part of the lane really, really well. This is generally going to be the weakest bowling ball in your bag, the one that you use when the lanes are completely torched, when you're bowling on wood lanes and you need something to get down lane, or if you just want something to be super, super angular if there isn't much in the front part of the lane. So here is our list of our top 5 of the year. Coming in at number 5 is the Deviate Chill Pearl. The Deviate Chill Pearl was, in all honesty, one of the only weekend sharp bowling balls from Brunswick Bowling for a good chunk of the year. They had a couple other options in this list, but the Chill Pearl was really about it, and this was the most usable, where this is a good just middle of the road. It isn't going to hook too much, isn't going to hook too little in this category. There are other balls on this list that are going to hook more. There are some that are going to hook less. This one was just in the middle, just did what it was supposed to. It was never anybody's favorite ball per se, at least very few people's favorite bowling ball. However, no one really disliked this bowling ball. So out of 12, that's why it's really middle of the pack on our top 5 list. It's a good number 5. It's a good middle of the road, just bowling ball that's present. So at number 5 is the Deviate Chill Pearl. Now at number 4, we get into the fun bowling balls. At number 4, we have the Brunswick Ivory Rhino Pro. The Ivory Rhino Pro just recently released over the last couple months. This all-white bowling ball is a take on the Rhino remake series that Brunswick has been going through. Previously, it was the Teal Rhino Pro, and now the Ivory Rhino Pro. Now, what is different about this ball is it is a pearl. It is a very, very long bowling ball. It gets super far down lane before it hooks. It has a very odd core numbers, really high RG, a little bit of a lower differential, and what a high RG does is it makes the ball hook very late compared to earlier. So this ball gets super far down lane before it hooks. Everybody has really liked this ball, either for the looks or for how it hits the pins, how it goes through the pins. This is something kind of different from Brunswick, where this thing actually goes through the pins really, really well. This is something that Storm was really good at, especially with the High Road series, is they were making balls in this line, in this kind of lane of bowling ball. But the Ivory Rhino Pro really does what the High Roads of the past did. It really does exactly what you wanted those to do. It just does what it's supposed to, gets far down lane, pretty angular, goes through the pins pretty well, hits them pretty hard. You can change the numbers quite a bit, so it's a very versatile bowling ball based on how you drill it. So that's really why this ball comes in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 is going to be another brand new bowling ball that just recently released, and that is the Hammer Anger. The Hammer Anger was Hammer's take on a weaker bowling ball that isn't as weak as their Vibes, but isn't as strong as something like their Scorpion series. This is going to be their take on a weakened sharp bowling ball. This is a spot that I don't remember the last time Hammer has ever filled on their own. They've always had a big gap between their pearl bowling balls, which has been a little unfortunate because you run into a lot of situations, especially in tournaments, where you need something weaker than your medium of the road symmetrical pearl bowling balls. And that's where this Hammer Anger comes in. This Anger has a fairly high differential, so it wants to go sideways when it sees friction, which is a good thing. A lot of people love seeing that down lane. They love seeing their ball be super sharp. Is it the most usable ball reaction all the time? No, but that's why you can hit it with surface. So you can bring this thing a little less than polished. You can bring it down to about 3,000 grit, and it'll be highly, highly usable for a lot of people. This is probably the strongest bowling ball on this list, maybe number 2 in strength. On our top 5 series, this one is overall very, very good so far. A lot of people have really liked it. Fits a unique spot in the bag, especially if you're a hammer only bowler. This is, in my opinion, one that you should really have to go below the Scorpion Strike, which is the number 1 pearl ball of the year. So that's why this Hammer Anger comes in at number 3. Coming in at number 2 is the Motive Max Thrill Pearl. The Max Thrill series is Motive's take on entry-level bowling balls. However, they aren't really entry-level. They're really just steps below their Venom line. So the Max Thrill Solid is really a step below the Venom Shock, and the Max Thrill Pearl is a step below the Hyper Venom. So the Max Thrill Pearl has been something that we've seen on the PBA Tour, and it has some strength to it. It is a weaker cover stock and a the weaker core. However, I think the cover stock is a little stronger than we all expected because this thing actually has a lot of hook potential, and it is, like I mentioned, one of the strongest bowling balls on this list, probably close to where the Anger is. I can see the Maxidol Pearl being a little bit stronger, but I haven't seen them side by side to really be able to guarantee that. So this Maxidol Pearl is actually a really, really good ball for even before the lanes are completely fried. Usually you want these weak and sharp bowling balls for when the lanes are torched and you just need something to get through the front 30 feet of the lane without overhooking or without losing its energy. And the Maxidol Pearl can actually be used not maybe on fresh, but on the transition of a lighter oil house shot, or even early on a lighter oil tournament condition. So that's really where this ball excels. So this can be used from speed dominant, balance, and rev dominant bowlers. In my opinion, it is one of the most usable balls on this list. However, if I look at the prices, it is one of the pricier options on this list. And finally, coming in the number 1 slot is going to be the Track Tundra Blue Fire. The Tundra Blue Fire is by far and away my favorite pearl ball on this list. This thing is the epitome of what a weak and sharp bowling ball should be. The Tundra line has always been fantastic for track. It's been around for a very long time. This is just one of the many iterations of a pearl weaker bowling ball that they have, but this core is actually not insanely weak. It is built to fit in this slot as a slightly stronger bowling ball, kind of where the Hammer Anger is trying to fit below those stronger symmetrical pearls, but above those entry-level bowling balls. And this Tundra Blue Fire has been really, really good for a lot of pros, for a lot of amateur players, and just a lot of Brunswick fans in general. The very nice sapphire-ish blue with the bright orange logos also makes it one of the best looking bowling balls on this list, in my very subjective opinion. But this ball overall, I think, has a little bit more value than a lot of them on here. And the fun part with this ball, it might be the cheapest bowling ball on the list. So just like a lot of our other number 1 bowling balls, this might be both the cheapest and the best in general. So if you're looking for a weaker pearl ball, look no further than the Tundra Blue Fire. Let me know down below in the comments what you think of my list. There are a couple balls that we missed that were on our list, such as the Exponent Pearl. We didn't put on the Lightning Blackout because I have a vendetta against that ball and it's way too overpriced yet, which really nullifies it from any top 5 lists. We had the Supra GT on the list, which we didn't include. So there's a lot of other good bowling balls. So let me know what your top 5 list for the weak and sharp category would be. Otherwise, if you enjoy what we do, make sure to drop a like, make sure to drop a subscription, then you get notified first next time that we have a video go live. This also concludes our top 5 bowling balls of the year list. Now we have one more video coming out, and that is going to be a culmination of all of the videos put together where we are going to list our top 5 bowling balls of the year with no categories. This is just going to be our straight up, what are the best 5 bowling balls of the year? What should that list look like? So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming near New Year's, so stay tuned. Otherwise, have a great rest of your day. I will see you all on the next one.